Hey.
Led by a man who wants to break the chain. Establishment is terrified. They can't control his reign. Let's meet this year on the train. Are you coming to the train? Where brave men called out for one queen. Media is terrified. Control his reign.
Game's over. Big week for these two. We're more than halfway through the season. Brings us into week 9. So we can recap week 8. We have 2 very special guests. One is our last year champion, the dog, the canine himself, Joey-Koempel. Say hi to the people, Joey.
What's up, people? How's everyone doing?
Seems only right that you joined the podcast on election night.
Yeah.
For you?
Hopefully it's a good outcome.
Yeah, we don't like to mix politics with fantasy football, but I think we all know who you're voting for.
Yes, sir.
Our other guest is a second place pretty much almost every year. Once again in 2020.
He's actually in second place as of now.
Yep, as of now. Let's see if he can hold it off. There's a lot of controversy as what went down today. So no further ado. Welcome, Luke Liguori.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Oh, buddy.
Fucking on top now, baby.
Look at him.
Big fucking trade. Big trade. You guys witness it?
Oh, yeah, we're going to get into it.
We're gonna cover everything from the top to the bottom of the league, the trades, the free agents, all that. So looking forward to another good week. Baby Sal, what do you want to do first?
So I'm going to mute them until it's time to talk. I think that makes, or Luke. Funky on the audio. Yeah, so let's why don't we go into the power rankings? We'll do your little segment. Well, I'm going to pull up the standings before that. They kind of go hand in hand. So this is where we stand after week 8, halfway through the season. And Dill will break down the power rankings in relation to the standings. Seems to be a fan favorite. Go ahead, Dill.
All right, so am I viewing your screen right now?
Well, these are the actual standings, but if you want to do your segment with the power ranking, we'll just kind of.
Okay. Yep. So
standings to that.
Yeah, I think I sent you the. Sorry, everybody, I usually send my segment on the Snap group, but I've just been super busy today. I had to go to the doctor's early this morning, so I didn't get a chance to do it. But nevertheless, let me get my rankings out here. So the rankings kind of go pretty similar. A couple of things that I changed. So we're going to start with number 1, Luke Liguori. He's in second place, but he does have more points for than Baby Sal. He had the highest scoring week in a while, 170-something points Luke put up this week. Dalvin Cook got him 50, but he might not have Dalvin Cook on his team anymore. We'll get to that in a little bit. Baby Sal coming in at number 2. Still in first place, right behind Luke. Only reason you're at number 2 is because he had a little bit better week than you did, but you took out the Black Sheep. That was a Sal v. Sal matchup. A lot of people thought he was going to win that week, including himself, I know. He has one of the top scorers in the league in terms of points, so big win for you. Then we got Joey, the dog himself, the defending champion. He's 5-3. He really would have, if he didn't make that Mahomes fuck up with Gardner Minshew, he would be in second place right now. But Joey had a great week too. I think he was the second highest scorer this week, aside from Luke Liguori, who was basically unattainable. But Joey, Mahomes looked great. Obviously against the Jets, everybody looks great, but nevertheless, he's back and firing on all cylinders with Devontae Adams healthy. Then we got, coming in after that, we have Luke Adduchio. So he had an upset week, lost to Cast. I know Cass said in the chat that why was it considered an upset? So I like that. Cass gaining some confidence, calling his shots, which is good. I think Luke Adduchio, you know, he actually takes over. He has the most points in the league instead of points for. Just had a rough week. You know, I think it's like 115, 110 for him, which is pretty low scoring for him. If anybody watched the Steelers-Ravens game, Lamar didn't look good. Ravens kind of got shut down, so that's probably part of the reason that he didn't perform like he normally does. Then we got Weezer. Rough week. I think he did, you know, failed to break 90 points, which is weird for him. Kenny Galladay got him 0. Ezekiel Elliott has looked rough with Ben DiNucci at QB. So yeah, that whole team is suffering. I know he's making a trade, looking to ship Swift off with Tooch, and I think he's getting AJ Green and another player, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So that's where he is. Still has one of the top teams in the league. Then we got Junior. Everybody shut on him last week. Junior had a good week this week. Came back without James Robinson and without Christian McCaffrey. So take that into consideration. Big win for him. And still got the dub. So that was big. A lot of people counted him out. Then we have Cass. Like I said before, the upset. He did it without Michael Thomas. And, you know, all the running backs injuries that he had. If you looked at his bench, he had a bunch of bye weeks and injuries, which was huge win for him versus Luke Adduchio, which a lot of people picked Luke to win that game. Then we have Don. Things just, you know, are not going well for Don. He just lost George Kittle. He's on, I think, a 3-game losing streak, or 2 or 3 game losing streak. He was 4-2, I believe, or 4-1. Lost a couple games in a row here, and it's not looking good. I know he's making trades for a tight end to fill that spot, which is good because, like we said in the past, normally he wouldn't manage, but his points for are not there. He's actually towards the bottom. I think he has like the 3rd least points for in the whole league, so that's why he's there. Then I have myself. Rough week for me. My 2 wide receivers, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, put up 2 points combined. Can't win a week that way. Basically, plain and simple. I didn't have no Chris Carson, no Miles Sanders, no Kenyon Drake, so all my stud running backs didn't play, but, you know, that's no excuse. Just didn't get the job done. Wide receivers is the reason I lost. Then we have Chris Camarote, another loss for him. I think he started off 4-0 or 3-1, and he's on a bit of a losing streak too. I think he officially has the least amount of points in the league. He's in 7th place, but he's got less points than Big, so his team is really trending downward. It sucks. His running backs aren't looking that great. And also whoever has Cam Akers, he got some touches over Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson went down, who was his really low in a running back. So it's not looking good for Chris. Then I have Tooch and Danny. You know, they're still, I think, 3rd to least in points for. They did beat me this week, but it wasn't really that big of an accomplishment considering I didn't put up any points. But nevertheless, it's good that they got a win. Got them out of that bottom tier because they were kind of competing with Big for a little while for last place. So now they're right back into the mix, and they are making a trade this week. So decent week for them considering they didn't have Crowder, they didn't have Mixon. So, you know, I still think they're towards the bottom, but trending upward. And then we have the Ghost at 12, who everybody knows about. Glad he got his win, but that's about it. And that's my power rank spiel.
Real quick, I'd like to look at the playoff picture. So this is, if the playoffs were to start this weekend, this is how it would look. We have a 6-team playoff out of 12. Seed 1 and 2 get a bye. That would leave so Bill, maybe you can answer this because I think this was controversial last year. Out of seeds 3 to 6, who plays each other? Is it guaranteed 3, 6, 4, 5, or?
No, so the higher seed will play the lower seed. So however it finishes. Yes. So as of now, so now granted, Don wins that matchup versus Hollywood Era. So if Don beats Luke Adduchio, you will be playing Don in the next round. Even though it's set up like that, the commissioner will manually change it, which it makes sense. The higher seed should get the easier matchup.
Yeah.
And then vice versa. So, and if Luke wins, obviously, then he'll just stay and play the other Luke, and that's kind of the methodology we'll use.
Yeah. So those are 6 current teams that are in the running. Then you would have your losers bracket for the constellation. There'd be 2 teams would be safe pretty much from the elimination though, which would be these 2 bye teams, the 7 and 8.
Yes.
7 and 8 would be, you know, done pretty much clear, and they wouldn't, you know, no good, not bad, so they'd just be where they were. Then 9 to 12 would be playing to pretty much not be the loser in a sense. So.
Yes.
How do you feel being in that even in that conversation, probably for the first time, though? At least this year.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, Chris Cameron has the bye right now. I honestly think he has the worst team.
Yeah.
So I think this is all subject to change. I think Cass is moving upwards as well.
Yeah.
And I play Junior this week, so I play Junior and I play Chris. So these are all subject to change. And same with the top bracket. You're set. You have the bye right now, but that's not necessarily set in stone.
No.
And Luke Liguori was looking for the 2 seed bye, but he just made a big trade that could help or hurt him. So kind of where we are right now might not necessarily be where we're in. 2-3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now when it starts. So definitely don't give up on your teams, guys. Trade window, we were just talking about it before we went on air. You still have another week to make trades. So it'll be trades will be cleared until next Saturday.
Yep.
So that's the day before the Sunday games of next week. So if you want to make trades, do it now and roll from there. So just wanted to get that out there as a disclaimer for anybody that was looking to make trades. I know a bunch were sent out today, which is great. Definitely a big advocate for trades. Think they're huge in fantasy leagues. They make it fun, make it creative. And so one more week for that. And other than that, I think we can get into, I don't really have anything else to say. I think we should let our guest Joseph get into his matchup. He had probably the highest beatdown of the week. He won, between him and Luke. So our 2 guests actually. But let's get Joey in because we haven't heard from him in a little bit. I want to say that's impressive too. Don put up exactly 100 points with all the decimals and stuff. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that. Exactly 100.00. But let's get Joey on and let him talk us through his matchup with Don because that was a beatdown from start to finish. Didn't even really look close. I checked earlier in the day. And Joey kind of just took off running. Like I said, Mahomes played the Jets early on and kind of smacked around and never stopped. So let's go into that game.
Joey, you finished 7-6 after an 0-4 start. Obviously, ran for everyone in the playoff bracket, including myself in the finals. I think that was your first year in the playoffs ever. So, I think you can make it back this year.
Yeah. I'm hoping to. Hopefully I do. I feel like if I can get the opportunity to make it to the finals. But I had a strong week on this week. Going in, starting off with 9 points after Thursday night from Robbie Anderson. Really put up over 10, but 9 points I'll take. But otherwise, Mahomes had a day. Adams went off. So the Metcalf put up my quarterback put up triple points more than a quarterback did. And then my one running back only put up 5 points, which really didn't hurt me that much either. Because Williams kind of made up with the points for that.
So you said Williams.
Yeah, I want to say this. I think Joey last week cried his eyes out about how Metcalf wasn't producing and how all the balls went to Lockett. I think he heard your message, Joey. I think that's more.
I think last week that hurt me. Last week Metcalf only got 2 points, which hurt me.
And now he caught 12 balls.
But and now like I said, he was only projected 19 points too. Ended up going off for 40.
Now,
points.
Luke,
But
I see Luke Ligz chuckling a bit here. Is there anything you'd like to add on this matchup here, Luke? I know that these are 2 guys that you've competed with this league and in previous leagues, of course. And maybe Joey's potential matchup for you in the playoffs. He has another top team. What do you think? Where do you think that you match up versus these guys, and where do you think that maybe Don went wrong here? That he got his ass beat. Do you think he needs to make any moves? If we have Luke.
Don scored an equal 100 points, huh? Wow, Luke, you're up. Oh, hold on. He's muted still.
Hello?
You were muted, Luke. If you went to class, you would know that.
Hello, boys. Boys, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Hey. Hello.
You have anything to add to Joey's matchup?
Nothing besides him blowing him out by 65 points. That's a good ass. I love it. I love it.
He's
Let me see. Patrick Mahomes, holy fuck, 48 points. I mean, yeah, that's Patty Mahomes. He's gonna do that like consistently. I mean, the past few weeks, he's been. I don't know. Devontae Adams has been holy shit. I want trade me Devontae Adams for whoever you want. DK Metcalf.
Luke has Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Will Fuller, Tyler Boyd. He literally would not be able to start Adams even if he wanted to. He has so many receivers.
That's right, though. We've said this previous weeks. This is the upside of Joey's team.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, his potential.
Yo, Joey's team is fucking actually stacked. Like he has like so much
three-headed horse
and potential. Like you have so many receivers. Like I think if you traded one or two of your receivers for like a stud running back, I think you're set, dude.
I think, like honestly, when his top three guys are on, they could win him a week by himself easily.
Yeah, like for example, this past week.
So he just really needs to put the pieces together.
I know you said about losing Jamal Williams, but you didn't even start.
I started him.
David Montgomery on your bench.
Yeah, I started him over David Montgomery.
Yeah, but he could play.
He got me 18 points.
I'm saying you could plug Montgomery back in this week.
Yeah, but I'm gonna put him in because he has COVID now.
Yeah.
Putting Michael Thomas in my flex.
But now I gotta see about Taylor because he's injured. He's got a knee injury, I believe. Ankle injury.
Ebron seems to be he's starting to get rolling here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about starting Ebron this week over Henry.
Joey's on the rise.
I love how Don scores.
So,
Joey, if you're looking to trade Henry to me, I'll definitely.
So I think I just dropped Henry actually, Luke.
I'm gonna
take some game usual content.
We can go to Luke Liguori's matchup.
Yeah, hang on.
Let him touch on his, and then let him talk about his big trade. We can do two birds with one stone.
Yeah. So right before we move on, the notes that I had written down though were Joey had three players that that outscored Don's top leading scorer. Joey's season average is 9 points higher than Don. Not only did Joey win, but he easily covered the projected margin by 20 points. So he even outscored his projection, which was pretty high to begin with. And these are two of the three teams that actually have more than two blowouts this year. So Joey, that's your.
What's going on here?
So you seem to be a little inconsistent, though. It's either blowout or bust in a way. I think that might just be the story of your team. And then moving on to Luke, who also blew out Chris.
We're almost beating by 100.
As factual, you beat him about 78 was or something. Biggest blowout of the week. You want to?
Oh shit! Yeah, he ended up with 94. I love my. I mean, I traded all year for this team, so I've been building, and I feel like this is Dalvin Cook's peak week this past week with 50 points. He's not going to top that ever again in this year. And he's dealing. I mean, yeah, he's not. He doesn't look injured, but he's. I don't know if I'm going to trust him throughout the year. I feel like I just got so much depth from like where I needed with that trade. Having someone like that to trade for people like for more depth. I feel like that's what I needed. And I feel like it's going to work out for the next few weeks because I have buys too, especially I have to work with, and they're gonna fill in those gaps, and I think it's gonna be good.
So one of the interesting notes I had on this matchup, even though you blew them out, you would have beat anyone this week. It did say that if you were to play the same schedule as Chris to this point, you would be actually 3-4 instead of your 6-2 record, which I find interesting. So maybe you actually came out with a better record than you could have to this point, heading into the second half of the season where you have a much better team than you started. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, I have Justin Herbert, Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Kareem Hunt, Justin Jackson for now, and Austin Eckler when he comes back. I have Edmonds for the next 2 weeks. He's going to put up toward 25, 30 points roughly.
You have won 5 straight, which is incredible, and pretty much has gone unnoticed till now. But Dalvin Cook just put up 50 points. Is that not a big hit to any team?
Yeah, it's definitely a big hit. But Michael Thomas. He just led the NFL in receptions last year. And
how many points has Michael Thomas put up this year?
He was hurt, but he's healthy now, so I don't see him not putting up 35 points a game.
So you're trusting basically saying Thomas is going to get healthy, and
if Tom,
you don't.
I have so much depth that it's worth the risk for Thomas, just like I did with Julio. Like, who would have thought Julio would put up 35 points after having that injury? Like, it just happens. I just feel like if he's healthy enough and he puts up those points, I feel like he'll fill in those points that Dalvin Cook had, especially with the running backs from getting back for him.
I came in a little late to the conversation, but I just wanted to say one thing. I think that the players you're getting are good value. So Michael Thomas, could be a league winner. Austin Eckler, when he comes back, could be a league winner. I don't like the trade for you because I think you know what you get with what you have now, right? So you know what you get with Dalvin Cook. When he's healthy and he's back now, you get 20 points a week, no problem. Mark Andrews, one of the top tight ends in the league, didn't have a good week this week versus the Steelers, but you know what you get with him 9 times out of 10.
Honestly, I feel like I had Dalvin Cook for his best week he's gonna have this whole year, so that's all I really needed him for.
Do you think he might trend downward? So you're gonna.
He's gonna trend down to. I feel like what he's been putting up, like 28, 27 points, 21 points, like that, somewhere around there. For what I'm getting back from.
My concerns for you are moving forward. When Nick Chubb comes back, if he takes some of the points away from Hunt, and if Austin Eckler does not come back the way that he's supposed to. But like I said, those are all big-time players that could easily, win you leagues. And I think you're going to have a good week or two out of Edmonds. But your team is also strong enough that you could afford to have one of those guys mess up a week. Like, look at this. Kareem Hunt only got you 9. Andrews only got you 6, and you still won by almost 90 points. So it's you have your point producers in Herbert, in Boyd, and in Jones that you could afford to make risks like that. You're in second place, so I'm not going to question you. And I just want to wish you good luck because you've come in second place a lot. I'm sure you're probably sick and tired of it, and I'm sure you're probably pushing for a win finally this year. Can I say that's accurate?
Yeah, if anyone. Obviously, it's going to be uploaded. So if anyone sees this and wants to trade me a running back for a couple of receivers, do a little deal like that. Obviously, I just got rid of the best running back in the league, but I just want more depth. That's what you need for a person.
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it strategy. You just put up 173 and you're making a big time move. So it's kind of like that could be you could be making your excellent team even more excellent, or you could be downgrading, but we'll see moving forward. Michael Thomas can come back and be the best Michael Thomas we've ever seen because last year he was the number 1 receiver in fantasy. So, if you have him and Julio Jones both dropping 30 points a week, then you're really no match for anybody anyways. So I guess we'll see what happens. There's nothing we could tell. There's a lot of times we made trades in this league where we thought one side was getting the better of it and then it completely flip-flopped. So definitely best of luck with that. And then
I'm all about the risk, man. I never go with my gut, and I'm gonna do it this year.
No, that's good. I think, I think you definitely made some good moves. Like I traded you Julio Jones when I
Yeah.
thought he really wasn't going to be anything, and you were willing to wait on him, and now he's back to being a stud again. So you've been having a good feeling. You had a good feeling about Herbert. You picked him up. No, he wasn't even drafted. You grabbed him off waivers, and he turned out to be your, he's your QB1 every week. So you've been making good moves. So I'm not going to doubt you. And then I just want to touch on Chris. We talked about it. And in my little brief breakdown, but his running back situation is really, really rough. His receivers are good, but Thielen and Jefferson, the way Kirk Cousins is playing, they've been running that offense through Dalvin Cook, obviously, as we could see. So unless he gets those big time games, like I don't really see where he gets his points. Obviously, Russell Wilson's good for 30, 35 points a week, so he's going to keep him in games. But Chris is trending downward, man. I don't know what he's going to do with his running backs. He definitely needs to look to make some sort of move, and I guess we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, so last point on Chris, it says between all his running backs, they posted 2 catches on 3 targets this week out of the backfield. And it is a full point PPR league. I don't think that's going to be good enough. And beyond that, their production on the ground isn't good either. So he's got some running back issues for sure. And when his high end running receivers aren't going to put up the numbers, it's going to be trouble for him. So I don't know. I think we told him to probably trade either Thielen or Jefferson a week or 2 ago.
Yeah, I definitely would have traded for him, and maybe not so much. He probably could have sold them high on somebody because he's so deep at receiver. He's got to get rid of him. He's got Chris Godwin. He's got I don't know.
And did go off. That was the start of the week, and nothing was going to win him this game, but it's just not good for Chris. I can see him falling down more and more, actually. He also has one of the least moves in the league. He's at 8, 1 above Luke, which you can't really hit on Luke. Luke's sitting in 3rd, so but sitting in that mix right outside the playoff spot, you may want to start looking at some more moves.
Yep.
We say that all the time. So, all right. The next one, I guess we're going to. So we did Joe, we did Luke's. I guess we could do the Battle of the South.
Yeah. Take us through you.
So this one actually was another blowout. I don't think I was ever even worried about it. I actually stopped even watching or paying attention until yesterday. I did take a chance on Zach Moss as an RB2, who became my RB1, I guess, since Ronald Jones is now splitting time with Fournette. Fournette's even getting a little bit more looks, and who knows what's going to happen with that backfield? It's completely unclear. So I'm still struggling, waiting for Chubb to get back, but we're getting closer, and I'm still pulling off wins. So that's not a bad thing, I guess. My receivers continue to do their thing. Aaron Rodgers was okay. I mean, it was just another solid week for me. It wasn't an amazing week. It obviously wasn't a bad week. So I'm averaging 130 something points a week, and it's just getting the job done. I don't think it's not always pretty,
You know how good that is? You can come in tomorrow at 8, and we'll see how you are doing.
Hold on just 1 second. My team, I'll tell you what, did turn out the way I drafted it in a sense, where it was very safe. It wasn't supposed to be flashy. It was just supposed to get the job done. And
yeah, I think like this 130, 140 point range is kind of like a nice floor for you, which is what you anticipated, which is going to win you, more than half your games, and it has.
It was a much different strategy than I'm used to. I usually just go for it all,
I like it. I love that Zach Moss plug and play. That worked out for you very well. But I honestly think, not to take away from your team, because your team's been good all season, and we know this. That's why you're in first place. But I think that another part of the story is here is just what's going on with Weezer's team, man. Because on paper, it looks like one of those juggernaut teams. And what is this, the 3rd or 4th week in a row where he really hasn't produced, right?
Yeah, we've almost like given up on him, and it's almost like the Zeke Elliott effect. It's like the Cowboys effect.
I know. Like, look at his team on paper. Like, Josh Allen started the season. We thought that he was going to be the MVP. He's slowed down. Calvin Ridley started the season. Looked like he was going to be Offensive Player of the Year, honestly. He's slowed down. Kenny Golladay, 0 points, and he got hurt. Screwed him over. Ezekiel Elliott's the whole Dallas offense is suffering, but still, Robert Woods is really his only guy that's been consistently putting up points. If you look at Woods' stats, he's been pretty solid.
True.
But other than that, I don't know what to tell him, because he drafted a good team. Like, he drafted by the books. He drafted who he was supposed to draft, where he was supposed to draft them. His team's just not producing. Now, Joseph, I'm going to ask you a question. what do you have to say about the downfall of Mr. Weezer? He started off looking like a juggernaut of the team, and then he's kind of fading late on in the season. You did the opposite last year, where you started off really weak. Everybody counted you out, and then you came back from the dead. How do you compare, I guess, your approach to his, and where do you think he goes from here? Because he hasn't looked good as of late, but he started off really strong. I think 4-0.
Yeah. I mean, I got position last year and ended up winning, but yeah, no, his team look really good. It's just players aren't producing. Like Zeke's having a rough couple of weeks. It's been really hurting him. But let's do his team. All right, so he of course he got destroyed this week by Sal, but I just think he's gonna have what's his record? Hold on. For me, he's still playoff hopes. His depth isn't that bad. He's probably away from losers. I mean, he's got a good quarterback. Josh Allen's good. He has Drew Brees too. He's good. Higbee's okay. He's couple. I think once Lazard comes back, he'll put him up some points too. He has Chiefs defense, which is good. But no, I think Sal's gonna bounce back from this and come and make it to the playoffs and probably make it like top 4 maybe. I'll try to get into the finals if he can. But no, I think Sal's gonna make a run within the next couple of weeks.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know if playoff runs. I mean, it's possible, but he's gonna have to get it back together. Aaron Jones maybe.
I think it's 4-4. I mean, in 5th place, not bad. And then who has he got next week? His team has potential.
Since we're at the halfway point, we might as well look at the trades that are already being posted. Obviously, there's probably more to come this week.
Yeah.
But if we can look at the actions. Yeah, literally, I think it's 4 trades going on.
Either.
Yeah, there's 4 pending trade. Oh no, there's 3 pending trades. It looks like FreshPrinceOfHelaire proposed a trade to me. If you look at some of the details, Black Sheep and Fresh Plants. There's 4 pending trades.
There's 3.
Some of the details, Black Sheep and Fresh Plants. So it looks like FreshPrinceOfHelaire is giving away AJ Green and Devin Singletary for Devin Swift. So it's not a blockbuster trade. But it looks like Sal's looking for a little bit more depth, I guess, maybe help him through the bye weeks, maybe. Even though it looks like Green's on a bye this week, and Singletary hasn't been that great. What do you think, Dill? I think Swift. I don't know what Swift's going to do for Helaire. You know, I like the guy, but
you know what? I think Sal had to make this move for his wide receiver depth. As I said before, Kenny Golladay went down and wasn't doing what he needed.
Sal wins this trade.
Yeah, so then he could throw Green in. And then also, I mean, what's his name? His running backs haven't been doing what he thought they were going to be doing, and Aaron Jones has been hurt. So maybe he plugs in Singletary for a week or two. So I think Sal got the depth he needed based on his injuries, and I think that Fresh Prince of Helaire is kind of in win now mode. So it looks like they're probably going to end up playing Swift moving forward most weeks.
Yeah, they're mixing out.
Yeah,
can't trust Helaire and Bell that they both have.
Exactly. So I think they needed points kind of thing. And where Sal has a little bit more depth. So I think I understand the trade.
I tried to reach out for Swift 3 weeks ago now, before he even blew up.
Understand the trades from both sides.
Yeah, I'd be starting Swift if I were able to pull this trade off. Yeah, it's not a blockbuster, but it's a necessary trade. And then we have, wait a second, am I reading this right? Did the declined trades make a trade?
Yep, Don made a trade with the Ghost. He got a tight end.
This is history, boys.
I don't know if it's the best move for him because he's given up a lot. So he's pretty much giving up some wide receiver depth, although he doesn't really need those guys because he plays his Keenan Allen, his Sterling Shepard, and he plays Mike Williams. So understand that. And he's grabbing Mike Gesicki, who I guess is a decent tight end. And, he did need one. Hilton hasn't been performing. Tate hasn't been performing, really. He's caught that one touchdown to save his day. And then Aguilar's kind of hit or miss. So it is what it is. I guess he gave away some players he probably was not going to start anyways for a tight end that needed. Gesicki is one of the sneakier tight end plays. I know that he was Fitzpatrick's guy. I don't know how good he's going to be with Tua, but I like to see Don make moves at least. So, yeah, I mean, it looked like he did good first half of the season, but we'll see.
That is a lot of players for just one tight end, but yeah. Okay. I mean, normally at this point you just stream tight ends, I would say, but I mean, this is his first trade, so I guess there's kudos to that. He's trying.
Yep.
Been trying all year.
Definitely shout out to the decline trades, making a trade. Very nice.
Looks like Boo's out there making moves too lately, huh? Well, after giving up.
Yeah. And the last trade we have is the big one.
Yeah, I know we lost Luke on the call, but this is very controversial.
Yeah, probably
Just
big
blockbuster trade of the year right now.
I don't like it for Luke, but I can see there is a world where Luke wins this trade. Just off this top of my eye, I don't necessarily like it. I think I think it hurts Cass too. Is he's kind of in win now mode, and I think Edmonds was a guy that you could play now for the next week or two, and he's going to put up great numbers, especially versus Miami. Without Drake, catches a lot of balls, and then I guess the uncertainty of Michael Thomas, he couldn't ride it anymore. He's been riding the uncertainty of Michael Thomas for weeks now, who was his first pick. So maybe if he could have made this trade a couple weeks earlier, it would have helped him.
Trying to strip away all the curses, really. Get rid of
but I guess I see it for both sides. I think that he could slot Mark Andrews right into his lineup. I know he was starting Jonnu Smith, who wasn't bad, but Andrews is probably a little bit safer. And then obviously Dalvin Cook, we know what we get with him. 20, 30 points a week when he's healthy, gets all the touches, catches balls, scores touchdowns. I think Cass makes out here, but I could see Luke prevailing long run if Michael Thomas gets him to stride because Michael Thomas is Michael Thomas. So. And Eckler, Eckler was a beast before he got hurt. Catches a lot of balls. Really good PPR guy. And also, remember when Eckler started the season? Tyrod Taylor was a quarterback. Now Herbert's a quarterback who's a lot better. I think Eckler's going to be great when he comes back. So if Luke has the ability to wait on that, which I think he does because he's in second place, I think I could see it for both sides. But big trade. I'm kind of a fan of if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of thing. So, I mean, Luke's in second place, just dropped 170. Why would you make this kind of move? But he's in second place, and who am I to tell him that he shouldn't?
I agree. We're definitely in agreement there. I'm not gonna be as nice as you are, but it is what it is. I guess there's a place where he just finds a consistent 140 points a week versus the upside of a 180, and maybe that gets it done for him. But that's in time, so only time will tell. Definitely helps Cass though. Yep. I think Cass is on the rise, and this is he does lose a little some depth unfortunately, but he gets rid of a lot of the guys that just beat him up this year. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's some positivity for his team. Trying to get rid of all the bad. Like the way to see how his team's going to look after that. That's crazy. See, it's going to be interesting. It's like a pivotal week, though. Starting to get into those important weeks right here.
Yep.
We still have 3 matchups left.
So we did your matchup. We could do. We did Luke's matchup. We have juniors. We could do juniors, and then we could close with mine, and then me and Cass. So yeah, do do juniors, and then we can close with Cass and myself.
Battle of the brothers.
Yeah, I honestly don't think there's much to see here. Junior had a decent week, which is congrats to him because he needed that. But I mean, nothing to say about Big's team. Kind of just been the same story all week. The guy just can't
be a ceiling for Junior though. I don't know if he's going to explode over 100.
I think nice Naheem Himes plug and play with James Robinson's bye week. So good for him. Juju Smith-Schuster is giving him points. He couldn't give me any, so congratulations to that. I think this is a nice, solid team win for Junior. It looks like everybody kind of chipped in a little bit. It wasn't like super top-heavy. Points were kind of evenly distributed, which was nice. I think Mike Evans is going to drop off a little bit because Godwin and Antonio Brown are going to be playing, so he's going to be more of just a red zone guy, but Brady has good connection with him, scores touchdowns. And, he gets Robinson back next week versus me, which is going to help him. And then McCaffrey should be coming back in a week or two, so that'll help him too. I just don't know how long he can wait on that.
What do you think? Minus getting McCaffrey back. Tom Brady can get a huge bump, though, towards the end of the season. Tom Brady can get in that upper echelon of quarterbacks if all goes right with that receiving core. So, I mean, is there a world where Tom Brady becomes a lot better and then McCaffrey starts playing, which obviously should happen? Does Junior's team becomes a little better in that case, obviously?
I just think he's weak wide receiver-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, Evans, that was a good game, but I think
that's the Cowboys that hurts. Let's see,
I know. I mean, look at CeeDee Lamb's stats. He was killing it in the beginning of the year. If you look at his sheet, when Dak Prescott was healthy, he was like one of Dak's favorite guys. Yeah. So it kind of sucks. I think he's weak wide receiver wise, but we'll see. He's kind of just one of those teams that toward the
Why
lower.
Maybe trade away like Mike Davis for now, and I guess we'll
know. Yeah. Mike Davis does a decent job, but he's not McCaffrey. Everybody knows that.
Those things maybe trade away for something receiver wise.
I want to ask Joseph Koempel if we can get his attention here. Big Boy, also known as the Ghost, is your accomplice in the other league we're together. I know that you have close contact with him. You guys frequently talk, probably daily. Where can you tell me where he's at? I know that he was happy off his win last week. Now it looks like he's kind of back to square one, putting up rough weeks in terms of points. Can you fill us in where his head's at, where he's going moving forward, and kind of how he's approached this week?
Well, this week he plays. He plays week 9. Going into week 9, he plays Chris. It's a winnable game for him. Chris directed the win though by a couple points. No, Big's team isn't that bad. He has a good young quarterback. Carter's okay right now, not having his best years, but I think Big's team can win a couple more weeks to keep him out of that another potential last place versus the loser's punishment. But I just hope Big doesn't actually quit like he says he's gonna, because it's a family league and he brings the pop to this league that we all need. But he's had a rough couple of years, but even in the other league that we are co-owned, I think we're in 4th place in that league too. But we won that league. We won the league the same year he won this league. But no, I just think Big just having a rough year, and hopefully next year's his year again. Coming off that loss with, I think, co-owning a team last year with Cass underhurt him in a downfall. But no, just Big, just keep doing what you're doing right now. You'll get a couple wins. Just don't give up on yourself, because I think it happened the same with me. Like last year, I gave up, but I ended up winning. So just keep your head up, bud. You got this shit.
Nice positive words from us. Defending champ. Love to hear that. And I think we can probably move on from this matchup. Yeah, good win for Junior, of course. Well needed for sure. Puts him back into the contention, scraping for that last spot.
They got 164 points last week and then turns around with 89. Tough, man. And then Junior, he goes against you this week coming up. You guys are both 3-5, so it's a mid-season showdown pretty much for the 2, 3, and 5s. I mean, that's a good game. Probably the game of the week. The loser is not between the winning and losing of that game, 4-5 versus 3-6, that's a big difference trying to get into the playoff race. You feel like this is a must win, or?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every week's a must win now for us teams towards the lower echelon.
True.
Because every win counts. I'm 1 win away from being in the 6th seed, and I'm one loss away of being, down at the bottom.
Yeah.
So, that goes for everybody. For me, Cass, Chris, the junior, even Don. Those teams kind of scrapping for survival. Every move matters, every trade matters, every week matters, every player matters. So we don't have the safety net, which is not good, but also it keeps it competitive and more exhilarating because every move we make matters. Every player, every start, every sit holds a lot of weight, which is good.
So Junior does have the 6th most points for. So
yeah,
he has some tiebreakers in that running. So
yeah, he does. So
beating him is big.
So yeah, he's got about 20 more points than I do. So I got to beat him in nice fashion to overtake him.
It does say that you have 3 players on a bye this week or so. Is that true? Or is that a tough bye week for you?
I don't. So I don't have. Yeah, I don't have my Eagles. So I won't have Boston Scott. And I want a Carson Wentz who looked awful anyways. But I do have Derek Carr in.
Derek Carr's been stepping up.
I think that Carr was a good pickup. Everyone else, I get DJ Shark back, which is good. I should be getting Chris Carson back, which is great. And I think Deontay Johnson is definitely going to bounce back because he's versing the Dallas defense that can't stop anybody. Because he had a rough week last week. I like New England D versus the Jets as well. I think I like my chances this week. Carson Wentz and Boston Scott didn't really help me at all last week, so we'll see.
Big green weekend.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe I'll make some adjustments or some trades during the week with my RB2. Still kind of figuring that out.
Yeah, it's a shitty week not having Drake.
Yeah, it looks like he's not going to play versus Miami, but they did say that he might be back the week after, so we'll see.
Is there a world where you could play Chris Carson and DJ Dallas?
There might be. There very well might be. Dallas didn't do bad for filling in for me last week.
Yeah.
He ended up scoring twice, I believe. Got me like 20-something points, which is not bad for a fill-in.
What if they use Dallas as the PPR guy? Chris Carson around more, and obviously he's not going to get all the workload probably being banged up or whatever the case is. But you never know. Perone can give you 13 points or something. Possible you can find the end zone. He's playing New England, so.
Yeah, I mean, New England is not the New England they used to be, so.
Seems like you get in on them on the ground.
Yeah, I think the Jets are slowly realizing Perene's the best back, and Gore is a dinosaur. So maybe we'll see.
I guess you do have room to drop a defense too.
Yeah, defense and kicker. It's just the waivers didn't go through yet, so
it's a big night. Lots going to change.
I'll make some moves.
There's another match we haven't touched on.
So we need to do that one. The Luke versus Cast.
This was probably the closest finish.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a good week for Cast. If you look at his bench, he had crazy amounts of bye weeks and injuries. So that was a big yeah, look at that. Like
0 across the board.
He literally started everybody that he needed to because he couldn't afford to, replace anybody else. So he did what he had to do. I love the pickup he had, Kendrick Bourne pickup at receiver. That was good. Ended up working out well for him. It helped him out that Allen Robinson ended up playing. I know he was questionable during the week, so that was big time. He got in the end zone. So it was a good week for Cast. I know he lost Myles Gaskin this week, but he is going to get Dalvin Cook in replace to that. He doesn't have Justin Jackson anymore as his flex, but, he gets some of those guys that were on bye on the bottom of his roster back, so he'll be able to fill that.
Team with fucking Dalvin Cook is huge increase. This team with Dalvin Cook is good.
I think, and I think also the other side of the story is that Luke's team just underperformed, kind of like a Weezer type situation where on paper there was every reason he should have won this game and he didn't do it. Josh Jacobs at 128 rushing yards, which is great, but no touchdown, didn't catch a single ball. Camarote did his thing, but Lockett was quiet. It seemed like if you watched the Seahawks game, it was a Metcalf day, not a Lockett day. They both don't go off at the same time, as Joey has noticed. it's kind of one or the other. Cooper Kupp got a lot of catches, but Lamar Jackson kind of let him down. Only 20 points from him where he drafted him. Second, third round is less than ideal for him, and he didn't really get much out of his flex either. With Hollywood Brown only called one ball, important to monitor. But I still think Luke has one of the top teams. They played a couple weeks during the season. Maybe Luke would have gotten that win, but I think this was Cass week and good roster management by him. And but I still think Luke is a top tier team moving forward.
Yeah, I do play this week. I know he what happened. Jacobs has been a little bit of a slump. He's been getting a ton of yards. He just can't find the end zone. He doesn't catch anything from Derek Carr, but if he gets in the end zone, he has big weekends. So. And who knows? Maybe this will be Lockett's weekend, and then Joey will be screwed. So. Bench-wise, he does have Antonio Brown coming up. I think that'll be a much better play than Marquise Brown. So, that could be the addition that he needs, really. Lindsey had that big touchdown at the end. I don't think you can find a way to play him. Maybe play him in the flex if you don't have Antonio Brown. But and we know that Cass's team's going to look completely different by 2 days from now. So it's crazy. So if we look at next week, actually real quick, 132. Week 9. Yeah, I still have your game as the game of the week, just the 2, 3, and 5s clashing. I think that's a huge momentum change of a weekend. There's a lot of good matchups across the board here. Maybe except for the Boo versus EveryDayImRussellin. Probably a low scoring game there.
You and Luke is a big game too. Two of the top top dogs, and then Weezer and Luke Ligz. You know what's crazy? Weezer could drop to 4 and 5 out of the playoffs this week.
It's true.
And if Chris Camarote beats Boo, who's the last place, Chris Camarote can overtake Weezer, and Weezer can be out of the playoffs, which is
unbelievable. You can get back on track here too against Flair.
Yeah, this is Don can get back on track, or Tooch and Danny can make that next jump up. Cass can continue his upset train and take out another top dog in Joey, or Joey can continue to roll like he has been, dropping 150, 160 a week. So it's a lot of games.
Feeling good until that trade, though. Now you got to go against Dalvin Cook too.
I think that this is one of the better looks, better weeks where every game kind of holds a lot of weight.
You're basically going to see the squad with the addition of Dalvin Cook, so it's going to be a lot closer than projections.
Yeah, he's going to have Cook there, but he's not going to have Jackson. I'm assuming that he will probably flex. He's got Kirk and he's got Kirk, he's got Gibson and those type of guys.
Cooks, I think. What's his name?
Cooks, yeah. He's got some of those hit or miss type of guys, maybe born again. So who knows what he'll decide to do? He's got the bench to make the decision. I think Joey, on paper, probably has the stronger team. Obviously, as of late, he's been putting up big numbers, but Cass has been, making moves. I'm assuming for the correct reasons, and he's a good manager. So we'll see what happens.
I think it comes down to Joey's every week matchup, which is Joey's three-headed horse, and how they produce. So Casey's got Carolina, San Fran. Yeah, let's see. This will be a good one. A lot of good matchups. All right, guys. Joe, you have anything to add since this is your week?
I feel a win would definitely help me out this week. I could potentially be in second or third this week if I win. I'm gonna need to pull off. A couple of my guys are gonna have to have a strong week again if I want to pull off this win. Yeah, it's not all change once Cass fixes his lineup. But I'm just gonna have to see how it goes, and hopefully, Metcalf and Adams has another week like they did last week. Help me win. Get the victory this week.
Yeah.
But otherwise, nothing else.
Heard it here first from the K9. Thinks he can beat Cass this week and get to 6-3 and potentially third or second place. It takes about 7 to at least try and make the playoffs. So everyone's trying to chase 7 right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's minus me. But, I mean, you're not even guaranteed at 6-7 and 6-8 either. So it's not.
Yeah.
You're going to want to buy. So. But
yeah, and then week 10 I play you and most of the buy, so I gotta see what I'm doing there.
Yes, I mean, there's the last couple weeks before the playoffs. I mean, the buy is important in fantasy. I think it's a big thing. Why would you not want to have a buy in fantasy?
Yeah, that could make or break that week.
So I mean, it is realistic that we could have a rematch from last year. Very realistic.
Yeah.
Doing the wing challenge all over again. Who's your prediction though for the final?
I don't know. I'm thinking you're gonna be in definitely top 3. I think it's gonna be Luke has a chance to make it. Little Luke has a chance to make it to the finals.
Even after the trade?
I could see it being. I could see Don. I could see Don up there too. He's having a role, but I'm thinking it's gonna be a Luke and Luke final.
Luke and Luke.
Yeah.
I've lost hope in my brother's team after what he just did.
Yeah, that trade is probably to make or break his.
I don't know what it was going to be or when it was going to be, but hard, especially when you're guy. Like he's not really to do that. But if that happens, that opens up a spot for someone else to either make the playoffs or to beat him in the final. This will be his third. What do you think, Dale? Who do you got in the finals? We are just past the halfway point, but
I think I was gonna go with Luke Ligz, but I don't know anymore. I think he might have hurt himself a bit. I think I'm gonna go with Luke Adduchio and Baby Sal as my championship. Is what I'm looking at.
This would be a preview this week then.
Yep. So let's get a preview of it this week and see what happens.
Who do you guys think can get into the playoffs? Who's we won't count Chris, I guess, in there, but 3 and 5s. You got 4 3 and 5s right now.
I think it's between me, Cass, and Junior. But honestly, if Junior gets McCaffrey back, I think Junior could squeak in there. I think Cass trade helped him out, but Junior does have the points for. But I think that Chris and Don are probably going to fall out of there because their points for are just low. So I think if I had to, I don't want to pick Junior because I don't want to be but I think he has the most. Probably Cass and NFL. Yes.
Is it bittersweet to be in that 7th spot or even 8th spot, just outside the playoffs, kind of like a game or even 5.4? But
yeah, I guess you're out of contention, but you're kind of on the outside looking in stuff.
I've never been in that spot. Weird spot to be in.
So we'll see.
All right, guys. This is a good podcast. It'll be a great week. Election night. God bless America. And God bless LKI. Hope you guys have a good weekend and good luck.
Yep, it's been a good one. Good luck and go Trump. God bless
you.
Yes, sir. Good luck, everyone. This upcoming week.
Thanks for coming, Joey.
Thank you. Good night.